Hey guys, before we get into the podcast this week, I just wanted to say a few things about Art Week. Our Art Week just wrapped up. We ran 3 events as part of the 25 running here in Plymouth and the hundreds across the state of Massachusetts. And part of that became possible because of our sponsors this month, Figurosity. They've sponsored us before and they're back now. Figurosity.com is a website that you can go to and choose from thousands of computer-generated models to draw from, of all body shapes and sizes. And there's even a paid side, and on the paid side you have a lot more options. You can have more freedom of movement of camera angle around the model. You can choose different lighting, and it's just a really, really great tool for artists, whether you're trying to work on a comic book cover or an oil painting and you're trying to get that pose just right. Figurosity.com is the place to go. And they gave us a coupon code this month. So it's ArtWeek1. And with that coupon code, you get $5 off if you sign up for the monthly subscription. That's basically one free month. Or if you pay for the year in advance, that brings the subscription rate down to $3 a month, I think, approximately, which then gives you about a month and a half for free. So we want to thank the guys at Figurosity.com for their help with us getting Art Week off and for sponsoring us again this month. And so that's Figurosity.com, coupon code ArtWeek1. Thanks.
Welcome back, Inebri-ites. This is Andy of the Inebri-art podcast, and for a little bit of change of pace, we are at Beverly Comic Con. It's the 5th Beverly Comic Con, and we are here with Brandon Clarke, who's kind of a local legend in the cosplay business.
Oh, thank you.
But you contacted me because you are putting out a book.
I am.
Can you tell us give us the elevator pitch of what the book is about?
So it is a horror novel called The Brave and the Wicked. It's basically a classic tale of good versus evil. It's about a girl named Jade Summers who finds out later in life, well, in her 20s, that she's a witch. And her mom has been keeping a secret from her that there is a strange box that's been in the family for generation after generation. And what's inside the box has to be stayed in there. Otherwise, if it got out, a lot of people would die.
So it's kind of like a Pandora's box situation?
Yeah, kind of like that, yeah.
So is this kind of your first venture into writing?
Yes.
Has it always been an interest? Like, where did that come from?
I started writing, well, I wrote horror stories when I was a kid, but then I kind of like stopped it. I don't know why I didn't like continue it, but I guess I lost interest.
Yeah.
And then the more that I started doing cosplay and I started doing original characters, I wanted to do like my own kind of story for the costume. Mm-hmm. So I originally was going to do a horror movie, but it didn't work out, and then I was going to do. Then I made up this character named Arcadius, who was like a 6-armed demon, and I said, I'm going to write this novel. So,
well, that's one of the things that always, I think, made you stand out as in the cosplay. I mean, you go to these conventions, there's tons of people in costumes, and there's ones that you look at and you go, I don't know what, that's clearly a character, but I don't know what character it is.
Right.
But you always kind of had, you would do known characters, but then you had different characters. I believe you did one, I showed my girlfriend, actually I just showed my kids, Father Time.
Oh, the Master of Time and Space.
The Master of Time and Space, okay. And you use a lot of lighting in your cosplay.
I do.
Do you have some sort of electrical background, or did you learn that for cosplay?
Well, yeah, I have a very talented prop maker named Castro. His thing is Giveaway Studios, and he helps me with all my stuff and just the props. And I want to shine. I want to be all kind of like bright and shiny things. So
Everybody does.
Yeah, everybody does.
Ooh, shiny.
Exactly. And, you know, he just helps me with a lot of my props and making it stand out and be, like, amazing. Because I always tell him, I said, if it's not amazing and, like, totally, like, mind-blowing, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and because I believe in going all in or don't doing it at all.
Right,
you
right.
know? So, yeah.
So, a typical cosplay costume, how long does it take you from concept to execution?
The concept usually takes a while because I'm very, very fickle when it comes to like the costume design itself. But normally the whole construction of it usually takes about like around 2 months.
Oh, it's not too. It feels like it would take longer.
Yeah, because I usually plan like far in advance and ahead. You know, like right now, like I already have like my next 2 novels planned out, like, you know, and the characters. And
so now that you have these novels, are you like cosplaying characters in the novel to kind of be like, oh, this is going to come up in the next story? So kind of self-promoting at the same time?
Pretty much, like, because so this time around, the first novel is called The Brave and the Wicked, and I will be cosplaying as the main antagonist in that one, and it's really scary.
Well, you did Pennywise.
I did
that
Pennywise
was pretty
last year.
horrifying.
Yeah. Well, this character is 10 times scarier than Pennywise. So it's very... And I was like actually looking at the costume itself. And I was like, Jesus, what's wrong with me? And then I've been working on the second novel called The Ghost of Kyle Sugarbaker. And that book is going to be connected to this book. So... there's going to be like little Easter eggs in this one, and then you can when you read the next one, you be like, oh, I get it.
Things
like,
that kind of...
Yeah, they kind of like go full circle. So,
what is wrong with you? Where do you get your inspiration?
Oh my God. Like, I just love everything that's weird. I love the supernatural. I love magic and aliens and monsters and mythology, and I love... The Twilight Zone is like one of my favorite shows. I love that show.
I started watching that on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, maybe like a month or so ago. I kind of go back here and there. And it's one of those, like, it's so good. You just don't realize how good it is. Because you're kind of like, oh, Twilight Zone is an old show.
It's an old show,
but they did so much with so little. Like, it's not about the special effects.
Because
it's all story-driven.
It stands the test of time. Because it's like, the stories are so good.
Yeah.
And it's like that subtle scary. It's like, you know, not all the episodes are scary, obviously, but it's like it has a very bizarre, unsettling vibe to it.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, it's so well written, and it's like one of the classics. I love Twilight Zone.
I find that with Black Mirror now, where it's scary because you're like, it's so close to home. Where you're like, that could happen. You know, we're close to that. Has horror always been something that appealed to you?
Yeah, I love horror. That's like my favorite genre. Like, I remember the very first movie I saw, which was horror, was Halloween. Michael Myers horror, and it scared the crap out of me because I remember watching. It was part 1, and I remember like I was at my uncle's house and I was watching it, and my heart was like beating so fast, like because I remember it was a part where he was chasing after Lori, and she was trying to get into the house, but like he was like so close. It was just like so scary to me, and I was like, and then I remember watching the Friday the 13th, and I remember I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that really scared me. And so I don't know. There was always been like a kind of intrigue of I've been intrigued by like scary things.
Yeah. See, I would watch a movie like that, and I wouldn't get the racing heart.
Yeah.
And then later you'd be laying in bed, and that's when you're like, shit, now I'm scared.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. What's that noise?
Yeah.
What's happening on the window? What's going on?
Right, because it's really like the unknown.
Yeah.
Like that really people are afraid of. Like, you know, and not just in life as well. Like, you know, people that pack up and decide to move to California to follow their dreams, that could be scary. Like, it's because you never know what may happen. Like, you know, and so the unknown is always frightening.
So what is your favorite genre of horror movie? Is it kind of a slasher movie, more of a thriller?
It's like thriller. I like slashers. I kind of like everything. You know what it is? I like a good story.
Yeah.
if it's like I don't have a favorite kind of music. If it sounds good to me, it sounds good to me. Like
Right.
you know, so I do like as far as like my favorite like horror antagonist. I mean, I love Michael Myers. Michael Myers is definitely one of them. He's like one of my favorites. Pennywise is definitely a scary one as well.
I was blown away by it. Like, I remember watching the first version, which people were like, oh, the first movie. I'm like, it wasn't a movie, it was a miniseries on TV. Like, I remember it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I watched it, was fine, it was okay, but, like, even the new one now, you're like, it's pretty scary.
It is
know?
scary.
Yeah.
It is. And Bill Skarsgård, he is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he did such an amazing job, like, portraying Pennywise. And, you know, a lot of people, like, always say, oh, Tim Curry's better. I'm like, well, they are different. They have...
It's similar to, like, a Jack Nicholson versus
Heath Ledger.
Where they're they both work,
but
they're so different it's hard to compare the two.
Right, because Tim Curry was good in his time.
Yeah.
And now it's Bill Skarsgård's time, and he is equal. I think he's a little better, but I prefer him because honestly, I wasn't scared of the first It.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Tim Curry, like you know what I'm saying, but I wasn't afraid. I actually laughed at it more than anything.
He was more clown-like.
More comical.
Yeah.
And as opposed to Bill Skarsgård, he was like an alien trying to mimic a clown.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
so
it's one of those, like, even as a kid, you look at the Tim Curry Pennywise, and you're like, it's a clown. You look at Skarsgård, and you're like, it's supposed to be a clown, but it's scary.
Right. Yeah. It's like he's trying to put on. It's like, you know, me us cosplaying. Think of Pennywise cosplaying. Basically, he can shapeshift. Yeah. And he's just trying to like play the role of a clown, like you know. But he's not a clown. He's an alien who eats children. Or
spoiler.
Spoiler. But so yeah.
So, how much did you kind of take from other literature to kind of inspire your books? Where it's a witch, I mean, there are certain kind of expectations. Yeah. But, I mean, do you kind of stick to the norms a little bit, or do you just
I
completely rewrite kind of like a Twilight?
No, nothing Twilight.
I wasn't comparing your book to Twilight, but I mean, that's just the first thing.
No, I see. I've definitely got a lot of influences from Stephen King and just seeing how like usually how witches are, like witches and like men and women. Like I remember like the originals on TV, like you know the Vampire Diaries and stuff like that. Yeah. Like they have like
the original witch on TV was Bewitched.
Yeah, exactly. Either her too. Like, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more darker and a lot more gritty than like your typical like I can do spells. Like you know, it's like no, I wanted to do something more terrifying, sinister behind it, and because like you know, magic can be beautiful, but it can also be dangerous. Like you know, and I wanted to show the best of both worlds of
so. You have the antagonist. Is the protagonist more of a witch? Yeah, Galinda.
No. So the protagonist Jade Summers. She is kind of like a newbie. Okay. She is her mother's coven. Yeah. Her mom is spoiler. Her mom passes away, which is okay because it's not really a spoiler because
if it happens early in the book.
It happens early in the book. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. Her mom passes away. But how she passes away is kind of messed up. Yeah. But her coven kind of like becomes Jade's like surrogate family in a way. And there is a character in there named Candace Moon, who's like an immortal witch, and she's also half demon. Yeah. And she kind of like takes Jade under her wing and like you know shows her the ropes and like teaches her how to like use her powers and stuff like that. But also there's another man, her uncle, Fred, who's also very, very selfish and very nasty, and he was actually kicked out of the coven years before. Yeah. But then when he finds out that his mom passes away, he tries to go after the box. He needs that box or something. Oh. So, you know, there's a lot. It's definitely an adult book. Yeah. It's like there's a lot of adult situations. There's a lot of like adult humor.
I figure if your inspiration is Stephen King, I mean, Stephen King's not family friendly.
No, not at all. It's very, very gory, and I was actually reading it. I didn't read it for a bit because I want to kind of just forget about it, like not remember what happens. And I was going through it myself. I was like, oh my god, some parts are really, really scary. And I'm like,
are you scaring yourself?
Yeah, I was scaring myself. I was like, Jesus. And I was so scared because I didn't want to turn off the lights. I was like, because if it happened in real life,
there might be a monster, and you're like, oh, I'm writing it. I'm the monster.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I said to myself, if this happened in real life, I would just take me now. Just take me now. I don't care. Just take me now. I'm not gonna fight. Just take me now.
So is the book officially out, or is it coming out?
Yes, it's coming out late May, early June.
Okay.
We are going to be doing a book trailer for. I'm going to Myrtle Beach in about a week and a half, and we're doing. I'm shooting a book trailer for it, and
cool.
And then we're going to do like a whole huge campaign for it. It's called Face Your Demons.
Okay.
Campaign, and the book should be coming out late May, early June, and the costume for the antagonist
is going to debut when? That's going to be my next question.
It's going to be debuting in like late June, and we're doing like a huge photo shoot for it, and it's like a complete transformation of me because like I transformed when I did Pennywise, but this is really, really a big transformation.
Right.
So like it's like more involved and more like I got like people helping me put the costume on.
Yeah.
So, it's scary.
And so, I know you from doing conventions and whatnot. Are you going to get tables and sell your book at cons?
Yes. I'm planning on doing it for Boston Comic Con. Hopefully, I try to
Which is now Fan Expo?
Yeah,
Fan
Expo. Yeah, Fan Expo. Yeah, I know it comes out I know they're happening in August. So I was hoping I can get a table there.
Yeah.
And then I want to do it for Rhode Island Comic Con.
Yep.
And then I know that, I don't know if you've ever been to Salem for Halloween, but it's like this huge... Salem is like haunted happenings every October.
Oh, yeah. October is crazy in Salem.
And I love Halloween.
I haven't gone to Salem on Halloween because of that. It's not, it's just like, I don't really want to deal with the traffic and parking.
A lot of traffic.
It can get really...
Yeah. But I am planning on like going out there and selling my book, and like the whole month of October, I'm going to be doing the antagonist of the book, so I can promote the novel.
Yeah,
I mean there may be some days where I may not always want to wear the costume, or I might do another costume here and this is for variety. But like 95% of the time, I will be in that costume and scaring people. So.
Your costumes are elaborate, to say the least.
Thank you.
Where do you have a background in makeup artistry? Like, because they're pretty intense.
Thank you so much. I actually people think that I actually like went to school for it, and I'm like, I just like went on YouTube and like.
YouTube is amazing.
It is. It really is. It's like a great guide to like help you do stuff, like and. I would just I said, I can do this. Yeah. I can do this. And and I remember I went on YouTube, and then whenever I had like a specific character that I'm doing or something similar, you can always find it on YouTube.
I use YouTube for like incredibly mundane things. Like I'll buy a pineapple and go, I don't really know how to cut a pineapple. And you go on YouTube, boom, there it is. Yeah. It's like a 2-minute video.
Yeah.
It's the best thing.
Well, the good thing about YouTube is that it's like I can kind of just simply just like look at what they do and mimic it, or I can kind of like, all right, I can do this color and shade it a certain way, or do it so it's like all of my makeup that people have seen, YouTube has been such an amazing teacher. And
have you thought about making your own videos?
I thought about it, and I was like saying, okay, I guess I'm just not so confident. Like it's like I feel confident when I'm in my own the privacy of my own home, and I'm just doing it, But then when people are looking at me, it's like I get nervous. I don't know why. People think that I'm so confident, and like when I'm in costume, but I am literally like a scared little boy. Yeah. Like I'm so timid, and I'm so like quiet, and I love but when I'm in costume, I get to be something else.
It's a little bit like acting. I mean,
it's like acting. Yeah. And but people think that you're just so confident. I'm actually scared to come up to you. It's like, why are you scared to come up to me? Like, I'm just a regular person. Like, I'm nothing. And I just love to just be in costume.
So when you come up with these characters of your own, do you also come up with kind of how they will act? So do you come up with like a kind of a whole character for them?
Yeah, like when I did the Master of Time and Space, for example, the Master of Time and Space is like an alien who can control space, time, reality, but he's also very distant and cold and not evil, but just like he's not human, so he doesn't have emotions. He doesn't have. So I was like kind of like walking around, like very like just like ethereal and very just like very non-human, like the way he moves and the way he like talks and the way he kind of like and a lot of people were like kind of like intrigued by that, and I was like, yeah, this is hot. I love this.
and how do you feel? Because I mean, I've done cons since like the mid to late 90s. And there's been a definite shift in cosplay. People used to do it just kind of for fun, but now there's, I don't know if this is slander, but like cost famous, I hear. Like,
everybody wants to be famous. I mean, and that's okay if they want to like make their living off of doing artwork. Like, cosplay is artwork, then by all means do it. I just don't like it when people, I'm not going to mention names.
No, don't.
But there's just certain people who have like really nasty like personalities when it comes to like the cosplay elitists. Like they feel like, well, I'm better than you, and like I have all these fans, and don't talk to me. And I'm like,
it's. I've seen people, and again, not mentioning names in general, not even just cosplayers, but people from Artist Alley and whatnot. They act as though they're a household name,
right?
And you're like, you realize even if you went to say the West Coast, no one would know who you are,
right?
Right? It's like, just be happy that people,
you're not Beyonce, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you're not. It's not like you are. There's always someone out there who doesn't know you, like and you're just a person dressed up in a costume, just like everybody else is. So humble yourself and be nice. Like it costs nothing to be kind.
No,
and especially this is why. Like whenever I'm when I'm in costume, whatever, and someone takes the time out their day to say, "Oh my God, I love your costume," or "Oh my God, I appreciate you," I always take the time to talk to them. And even if I am swarmed, I always take the time to talk to like whoever wants to talk to me. Because they're taking time out their day to say, "Oh my God, I just love you," and I appreciate that. I appreciate the love that they're giving. So
it's nice for someone to appreciate something that you're doing, you
right?
know? And it's like,
right?
I do it because it's fun, much like this podcast. Like,
right, exactly.
It's just fun, and then you'll get people that respond to it, and it's surreal almost.
It is. It's like I remember a little girl when I did Maleficent. A little girl actually wrote she said she drew a picture of me in my Maleficent costume, and I almost cried because I was like, no one has ever did something like that for me.
That's crazy.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
So you also do cosplay outside of conventions, like with Pennywise. You were doing them at movie theaters. Is that,
I was.
Were you invited, or were you just randomly scaring the hell out of people?
They hired me. They hired me. They found out, I guess through the grapevine, oh my God, we saw your Pennywise cosplay. We would love to have you, be, the Pennywise for the convention. I mean, for the movie premiere. And I was like, oh hell yeah, let's do it. So then I went there and I was scaring the crap out of people. It was so much fun. And I got to see the movie for free.
Well, that's a plus too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and I got some swag stuff too, which was nice.
Yeah, I got to work a haunted house one night. There's down in Abington. There's a place that every year they designate certain nights to charity, but the thing is, the charity has to staff the haunted house.
So it's in Abington because I know a person who wanted me to go to that haunted house in Abington. Yeah. It was saying, "Oh, can you do your Pennywise?" And I was like, because it's somewhere in Abington. I don't know if it's the same haunted house.
It's gotta be.
But I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm already doing Pennywise for something else." And I was like, "But I'm sorry, I can't do it." But so I was like, I felt kind of bad. But I mean, driving all the way from Salem to Abington on Halloween night, it's hard. So I couldn't commit to that.
So you live
I live in Salem. Mm-hmm.
So do you live in Salem because it's Salem, or is that where you grew up?
Oh no. I moved here like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I was just tired of Boston, and I needed a new, fresh start, and and I love it.
Yeah.
I never look back. So
Well, they got
I
a great
love the North
comic
Shore.
shop there too.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and I love North Shore, and like I personally would never move back to Boston. I love North Shore, and if it's either not North Shore or I would move out of Massachusetts, somewhere else, like California or Atlanta,
Yeah.
but which is in the works now. But I mean,
That's why I like living in the South Shore, because I can get to Boston.
Yeah.
I can get to Providence.
Right, right.
It's got its own thing, but I can.
I used
get
to live
where
in I used to live in Quincy too, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I used to live in Quincy. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So there's more books in this series.
Yes.
Are they already written? Are they just outlines?
They're outlines right now.
Yeah.
I started writing, so I'm done with The Brave and the Wicked. Right now, we're just going over the edits, grammar and spelling checks and stuff like that. And then that should be out, like I said, late May, early June. But I started writing the second book called The Ghost of Kyle Sugarbaker, and that one is just as scary. But a lot of my books also is LGBT driven.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there isn't enough LGBT characters. Because me as a gay man, I want there to be more people that represent me.
Right. You want to be able to relate to a story.
Right. Exactly. But there's this variety in all my characters. There's straight. There's gay. There's bi. There's everything under the sun. There's aliens. There's witches. There's all this good stuff. So
yeah, I'm sure there will be people that will be turned off just based on that idea, because there's always this, why has it got to be? Because people are like, why has it got to be political? And you're like, it's not political.
It's not. It's personal.
I'm just trying to put something out there that I can relate to, and
right.
I can't. I'm putting words in your mouth now. I would assume you can't write from someone else's perspective.
I mean, I could. I mean, a lot of the characters in The Brave and the Wicked are straight, and because I've seen how straight people are, and I know but I also know that I am, as a gay man, I want there to be someone who represents me.
Right.
So, and being around straight people, I mean, being gay and straight, they may be different titles, but they still work the same way when it comes to feelings and how it works and how two people come together and how they try to work something out.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So.
So you kind of gave a synopsis of what your book's about. You said it's not, it's a adult audience. But what kind of, is there something that a book that you could be it's similar to the not Harry Potter obviously, but is there something that you could kind of be well, this is kind of in the same genre that you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say influences from it, but it has no, it's not like it either. I don't know.
Got a kind of Stephen King-y feel, or
no, it has a Brandon the Shapeshifter feel. That's the feel that it has. The Brandon the Shapeshifter feel. But no, I think it's because there's a lot of horror, there's a lot of fantasy, there's a lot of. So if you want to say it's like Harry Potter and meets Vampire Diaries all in one, sure.
Yeah.
But it's more scarier than that. It's more adult because it's not a children's book. It's although Harry Potter is kind of like a young
Harry
teen.
Potter's, it's young, a kid's book.
It's a kid's book, and but mine's is not a kid's book. Mine's is adult, and it is oh my god, so for young adults rather, adults. So.
And how do you feel about, because you mentioned that there is humor in it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about humor in horror movies? I don't feel like there is enough, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that when people can put the humor in at the right moments, then it's okay, it works. When I was watching it had just enough humor because when in the right situation, you know, but it was still scary.
Yeah, I think it offsets the horrific parts to make them scarier.
Right.
So I think it's that kind of, you don't want a Michael Bay movie that is just the same level of action all the way through. You want like peaks and valleys, and I think humor mixed in with horror movies. Like one of my all-time favorite horror movies is Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, yeah.
Because it's really funny, but it's a pretty legit horror movie, especially by the end of it.
Right. I mean, in this book, The Brave and the Wicked, there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of, tragedy. There's a lot of romance, and there's a lot of horror, and there's a lot of fantasy because it deals with magic and it deals with, what's in the box. You gotta read it to find out what's in the box.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head, I think.
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow.
So, getting a little bit back to cosplay, what is your favorite licensed character to play? Is there one that stands out?
Pennywise was my favorite.
Yeah.
Pennywise and Maleficent.
Yeah. I think that was the first one that I ever saw.
Yeah, that's the one. Like the Maleficent one was the one that really like put me out there. Like people started to notice me.
Yeah,
and I really like doing Doctor Strange too, because like
I don't know if I've ever seen your Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I did Doctor Strange one as well, and here I'll show you a picture. But I did Doctor Strange, and I had the magical disc, whatever.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, I had such a great time doing that. It was so much fun, and I like anything that deals with magic, basically. Spells, magical stuff, so...
So, for a younger listener that might be just kind of starting into the realm of cosplay, who claims she's Batman, who's totally not Batman, my daughter, for one, is... just getting into cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what would you recommend? Are there, like, do's and don'ts?
There is. Well, so the only do's and don'ts that I would say is you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever that makes you... Whatever...
Are there even more, like, practical things? Be like, well... Make sure something that you can get in and out of easy to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh,
or,
well, that's all. That's something.
Because I see some people walk by and go, that dude's not peeing all day.
Because that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I'm in costume, I make sure I don't drink nothing. If I drink something, it's very, really quick. I don't drink a lot, but, if I'm from dying, obviously I'll drink something. But I don't drink anything when I'm in costume because I am not using the bathroom when I'm in costume. I am not getting out of it. It takes too much effort to get out of it.
Yeah, I just can't imagine some of the get-ups, and I'm like, there's no way that guy's using the bathroom.
No, because some people just they do such fantastical characters that it's how are they getting out of that now? And they need handlers too. Sometimes people need handlers, especially when they do actual big
robots, and the
and
Hulk
stuff like
and
that.
Yeah,
it's insane. So the good thing is I do elaborate costumes, but they're not so big where it's okay, I need someone to hold this for me, or okay, I need someone.
I need you to walk with me to make sure I don't knock things over.
Right. Although with this character from the novel, there might be a
little bit of that.
It's a lot. It's I was saying because I tried on the costume, rather the beginning stages of the costume the other day, and I was like, Jesus, how am I gonna walk around in this? I'm gonna hit somebody with it. It's turn around, I'm gonna accidentally hit someone with it. So hopefully not. And it's hard too because when there's when it's really crowded, and you're in this confined space, whatever. You have these. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, I've almost been elbowed in the head by cosplayers before.
Oh God, that's awful. I never had that issue. So. Thank God, knock on wood, I never want to.
Is there one cosplay that you feel is, overdone? That, we don't need to see, I don't know, Deadpool anymore?
If I'm being honest with you, I'm tired seeing Deadpools. I'm tired of seeing Harley Quinns.
Yep.
I'm tired of seeing... I mean, you can cosplay whatever you want.
Right.
But it's you have, this blank canvas. You can do whatever you want. And yet, you still want to do the same character over and over and over again. And it's maybe they like that character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fine. Yeah,
maybe they like it.
My favorite ones are always kind of the very obscure ones.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I love obscure characters because you can appreciate it more.
Yeah.
And like for me, I did Captain Planet, right? And then
yeah.
And then like everyone's like, oh my god, Captain Planet! I never see him. Like the reaction is so much more bigger and grander that it's like, I never see Captain Planet. Oh my god, that's insane! Like
I was at Super Mega Fest back in November, and we were at the hotel bar. After the first day, and there's a dude standing across from us, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, and then my buddy's like, what? I'm like, that's Al from Quantum Leap.
Oh,
and he had like the little hand device and a cigar, and like it took me like 2 minutes for it to register that. I'm like, that is such a great one.
Doctor Strange.
Okay, that is a pretty dope Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So yeah.
I can't. How did you even make that hand prop? Is it
it's
like
acrylic?
etched?
It's edged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's edged.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So with all this cosplay, you must have picked up skills that you never had before.
Yeah. I mean, with my makeup skills have been like it's more of like okay, for example, for the antagonist for my novel, like I'm doing prosthetics.
Yeah.
And I've never dealt with that before, and like so it's a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God I have Tyler Green, who's awesome from Face Off. He's been showing me the ropes of how to like do prosthetics.
Oh, from like the show Face Off.
From the show Face Off.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually been. I gave him the designs of how I want my face to be for the character, and because I never worked with prosthetics before, like heavy duty prosthetics. So
right.
I'm like, he's gonna teach me how to do it. I'm like,
so you're gonna have to do like the whole face mask, the face casting.
Yeah, we did that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and it was such a bizarre experience, like having that stuff on your face. I was scared. It was actually a lot more soothing and relaxing than I remembered, than I thought. I've heard
people say it's claustrophobic.
Yeah, if you're claustrophobic, I'm like, oh my god. Like I was freaking out at first, but then it's a lot more. I actually almost fell asleep because it was so like soothing, but they do kind of like cover your whole face, and they're like, like your eyes are basically just shut, and it's just like, oh my god. If you're claustrophobic, you'd probably be terrifying.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
So where can people go to find out information or purchase the book? Is there like a website for it? Is it gonna be on Amazon? It
will be on Amazon, and there will be a website active. My publicist is going to be working on that. But the website, it should be coming up soon. There will be a Facebook page and an Instagram page called The Brave and the Wicked coming up as well. And they'll have like all the links to it, like, to the website and to like the store, like where you can buy it at, like, Amazon and stuff like that, and Barnes and Nobles. And like, sometimes you can also do like the ebook, like the like that too.
The for like Kindle.
And, for Kindle. Yep. Yeah, for Kindle. And there's Instagram and Facebook's probably the easiest way to find it.
Yeah.
So The Brave and the Wicked.
So it's very exciting.
I'm so excited.
I love when people create stuff, but I love when they're on that verge of something new. It's always exciting to see someone's like passion project kind of come to life for the first time. So we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
And of course, when it does come out, we'll post a link on
definitely. Thank you so much.
Share it around the interweb. And thanks for coming, because this was like kind of like scheduled and then rescheduled. We shuffled it around.
Yeah.
But it worked out because it kind of came up in your direction. Mm-hmm. And so for our listeners, check out Brandon Clarke's book,
The Brave and the Wicked.
The Brave and the Wicked. And I'm sure they can find you on Facebook and check out all your cosplay.
Yes, on Instagram, Brandon the Shapeshifter. Instagram and Facebook. And what cons are you going to be at coming up? I will be going to the next one's not until a ways away, which is the Boston Fan Expo.
Yeah, which I think is end of the summer.
Yeah,
beginning of fall?
In August.
Yeah.
Kind of like the middle of August.
Oh, okay.
I'm also going to Dragon Con, which is my favorite con. It's in Atlanta. I'll be down there, Dragon Con, and I'll be going to. If you guys ever want to come to Salem for Halloween,
Well, they should come up to Salem anytime.
Oh,
Salem's
yeah.
always
Yeah,
good
Salem,
place, yeah.
but it's definitely popping on in October.
Yeah.
Haunted Happenings is crazy.
Yeah.
So, that. And I'm also going to Rhode Island Comic Con as well.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So, thanks again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And, we'll see you around the conventions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. All right. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to check out our other podcast. There's the Bar Talk podcast. There's Old Colony Cast. And, of course, the Inebri-art podcast along with Jam Packed. You can find all those on Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, pretty much anywhere podcasts are found. If you're on some sort of service and you can't find it, let us know, and we'll help you out and or add our podcast to that, too. You can contact us at inebriart@yahoo.com and follow us on Facebook as well as Twitter at Inebri-art. And feel free to send us some tips, ideas, advice, hate mail, whatever it is, you can get us there. And again, thanks for listening.